Thank you for joining us for Game 5, which has Clutch Gaming opposite OpTic Gaming. Kobe! It's going to be a good day. We're going to close week 6 out
Basic
strong.
time. Fast movements. All
right.
You feeling okay?
I'm feeling great. Time to go through the starting lineup. Selecting blue side, it is Clutch Gaming. In the top lane, Huni. In the jungle, Lira. In mid, Damonte. Bot, Cody Sun. Support, Vulcan. And their coach, Artemis.
And preparing for battle on the red side, it is OpTic Gaming. In the top lane, Dhokla, jungle, Meteos, mid, Crown, bottom, Arrow, support, Big, and coaches Zabotine and Croissant on stage.
And for OpTic Gaming, it is feeling disheartening to see them fall short in areas where they looked so strong in at the start of the split.
Yeah, I think so. Yesterday, we saw some uncoordinated team fights from them specifically. I mean, Crown did get some nice leads with the Azir in mid lane during lane phase. However, they did not transition well to those mid-game team fights, and some people were initiating at different times, and they were not in the same area and ready with the same goals. Now, a lot of the early wins for this team and how they got up to so many weekends tied for first place is with a split push style, with specifically for Crown or sometimes Dhokla into those side lanes and gaining territory that way. So maybe we'll see a return to that form.
And for Clutch, their wins do seem to come from having two sides of the map with different goals, and they rarely can show cohesion in those objectives.
Yeah, I mean, Huni, he always wants to pop off, right? Huni, as just a human being, always wants to be a star of whatever game he is playing. And I think that that is a viable strategy for them. It's just that the bottom lane wants to scale up. The Cody Sun late game team fighting, more standard team fights with front to back feels a lot more comfortable for setups when he's in the lineup. So maybe Lira will be the glue that kind of holds those two objectives together, combining the top side and the bottom side goals and bring the balance to Clutch's early game.
And certainly there's been quite a lot of disruption on the Clutch side. I mean, they tried moving Cody mid for that Zed game, which they said had been working well for them. Yeah. Now their old head coach is gone. They brought up their academy coach as the new head coach. So Clutch are going through some stuff.
Coincidence? That mid! Who came up?
Well, we'll see what happens here. OpTic, though, still in search of some wins. Will be tied with the Golden Guardians if they lose here. Clutch, I think, just trying to move things along steadily and find a little bit of consistency. So we'll see what the draft does bring us. Clutch have been, I think, the team most willing to make a lot of changes. We've seen them play Qiyana already this weekend, but Sejuani, Nautilus, Karma, and Yuumi will start things off. So the expected red side bans there for OpTic, and a little bit more targeted here on the Clutch side. Aurelia's going to join the pool as well.
All right, let's see. Possibly top lane, possibly mid lane focus. We still have the Silas, we still have the Sejuani, we still have Lux and Sona as well, so quite a few things floating around here. See what OpTic decided to take off the table. I would expect more bottom lane focus for them. The Cody Sun consistency down there has definitely been a problem for other teams, and it does come through. There's the Sona.
Yeah, just take that one out of the way. It does leave Lux open, so Clutch happily snap that one up. Now we'll see what OpTic do when they take here. Again, a team that's kind of stuck to their game plan in a lot of ways. They've shown a lot of different looks for how to give Crown an advantage, but have struggled a little bit with overall consistency in the last few weeks. So not expecting anything too crazy, but you never know, at least later in the draft. For now, they will stick it nice and standard with Sejuani banned. Meteos will take Jarvan.
Yeah, I kind of expect OpTic to save last pick for Crown specifically, have that counter pick. I mean, sometimes they have done it for Dhokla, but they haven't played around Dhokla quite as much. So we'll see if the early ones are just going to be jungle and maybe bottom lane focus lock-ins for them. Yes, sir.
Arrow on Sivir, always a nice thing. And Arrow has certainly had a much better split this go-around. He and Big have actually been pretty good for the most part. Although, again, total team consistency has dropped as they've taken more losses, but Sivir is nice and safe and has a bit of insurance versus all the Lux bindings that you will be having flown at your face. Clutch, though, going to get the draft ball passed back over. And as clock ticks down, it is Rumble, that one.
Huni!
Probably the most expected pick on any Clutch draft.
Yeah, most people really associate Rumble with Huni because he's had so many games on it and found so much success with it. We'll see if they can actually work well together with the Lux. A lot of times if you combine somebody, then you get your free Rumble ultimate down. On top of it, Damonte already played a Qiyana game. Did not go that well for them, but I like it if he retakes the challenge.
Hey!
Let's go.
All right. So I was gonna say, Damonte, I think, has played Rumble in Academy in mid. So that actually is a flex, but they're just gonna take their solo laners here. Damonte actually make it his third Qiyana game of the week. He did have one win in Academy already, but this is what we expect from the top side of Clutch. Very, aggressive, very explosive from the solo laners.
And Qiyana and Rumble actually work super well together. AP damage later, AD scaling for later. Qiyana actually scales, as far as her damage output, really well into the end game. The problem for her in the end game is always about survivability and choosing your moment to go in. So I would expect Clutch to round out their lineup with some hard CC initiators to make room for Qiyana and Rumble. Those two champions, crazy damage output. However, they need structure in their fights to be able to lock people down. And Lux does have a binding, but it's not anything close to like a point and click or anything. So they're gonna need some setup for themselves. Twisted Fate once again will be locked in against the Qiyana. We already saw previously, it's really good at finding Qiyana in the side lanes, teleport over, go for ganks on her. Of course, the brush invisibility is not gonna do you a lot, but you do get move speed when you pop it, so maybe you can walk your way out the distance. Twisted Fate, regardless, was Crown's pick that he originally introduced, or reintroduced to the LCS this season. Summer kind of started off with Crown being the first one to do it. Some AP builds, some AD builds for it as well. And he is one that really had success early on.
Well, bans are almost done here in Phase 2. Sylas and Lucian, so two good aggressive jungle options for Lira off the board. Thresh and Aatrox, the two bans there for Clutch. So Dhokla gonna lose a top laner, and Big gonna lose something he's played as recently as yesterday there for OpTic. Looks like they want to keep the bottom lane nice and stable and try and set Lira up to get these solo lanes going. Qiyana's gank assist is incredible. Rumble's overall damage output is great if you can help him set up. So certainly a lot of good targets for Lira here. Tahm Kench gonna kind of shut things down, at least in the bottom half of the map. Very safe and defensive here for OpTic.
All right, it also gives them quite a lot of map mobility. OpTic, we talked about, will they return to a split map style of play to find their wins like they did early on. Twisted Fate definitely along those lines. It was, one of their early successes was Crown first bringing it out. If you also have Sivir speed for the rest of the team and the Abyssal Voyage from Tahm Kench, there are tons of options for splitting the map here for OpTic. So this looks exactly like how they wanted to play the game when they were their most successful. Going to be difficult for Clutch. They do lock in some crowd control with the Rek'Sai. Later on, it's very hard to get that off though. And flash unburrow on one target is about as good as you're going to get. So Clutch are going to have to be very good with their skill shots and very quick with their timings.
And Lucian is the last pick. Certainly can be good in the later stages of the game when you have something like Yuumi able to power up the Lucian in the late game. But this is a much more aggressive, it feels like, from Clutch, especially the top half of the map. Like, you don't pick Rek'Sai and go Halo Blades when you're not trying to dominate the early game. And OpTic say, you know what, that's nice. We'll just take Azir here. And that looks like TF's flexing his way around.
Oh, baby. Support Twisted Fate. Are they going to rotate it up to the top side? There it is. Dhokla gonna try his hand at the Twisted Fate this time around. The long range into the Rumble matchup is gonna go a lot better. Plus, Twisted Fate can also have a default defensive pattern. Even if Rek'Sai, makes it difficult up there, Twisted Fate can focus on minions, wild cards, and blue cards, make it a lot safer. Problem is, though, if you get caught out in a long lane, there's no escapes for a Twisted Fate. So he'll have to be fairly careful and very cognizant of all the vision they can put down.
So yeah, I thought we were going to get something a little bit more standard, but I am mistaken. OpTic Gaming mixing things up with their last pick, willing to flex this TF all the way to top side. Coaches will shake hands, and it's been a fun draft. This is a nice way to close out Week 6, Kobe. We get some Qiyana action once again. And we'll see what Dhokla does with this top lane Twisted Fate.
Yeah, Big always is talking about how many champions he could play and how he's got all these spicy picks lined up. So I was hoping for a little bit more craziness.
Aatrox every game, and
yeah, not going to be the case. All right, Qiyana try number 2 for Damonte. Can he make it work on stage this time around? He's taking Ignite once again, looking for the burst damage. The Electrocute Qiyana, huge potential, especially once you hit that level 6. And if you work around the jungle, looking for some of those walls to explode.
Yeah, if there was ever a champion you wanted to pair with an aggressive jungler, Qiyana, it might be it. She's so good in the river. when you can get skirmishes started. So again, expecting kind of the tale of two clutches to continue here, with the top half being very aggressive, although Cody is taking a little bit more panache there in the bot lane with the Lucian. But everyone's going to spread out. Meteos and Lira will visit each other, and Meteos will give them the flag.
All right, message received, loud and clear. Do not pass the flag. Looks like OpTic defensive opening here. I don't think they want any early sort of invade going on. What side will Lira actually start on the Rek'Sai? I would expect red buff here, and then maybe an early visit, jungling up through to the top side to try and attack this Twisted Fate. Make the Twisted Fate play much, much further back. It's kind of hard for TF sometimes, auto-pushing wave for both of these top lane champions.
Definitely curious to see how the matchup kind of plays out. Huni has played a lot of different champions top lane in his stage games in his career. So I wonder if this is something he's seen, but see how it works out. Dhokla right now going to help Meteos with his camp, and Lira, as you expected, is going to start here on the red with help from Cody and Vulcan.
Jarvan's also getting a pull on the opposite red by Dhokla, so Twisted Fate will be late to lane. If you look at what Huni's doing right now, you can kind of see on the mini-map up there, he groups up the minions so that they try and focus fire one down, try and get them to receive more damage, so Dhokla will miss some by arriving late. But Dhokla didn't give a full leash on the red buff. He comes up, he gets experience just in time, no harm, no foul. Even picks up most of those last hits. Meanwhile, Meteos transitioning straight from buff to buff here. Might make an early look.
Not sure if he got spotted either, depending on the path he took to get there. We can see the ward at the mouth of top lane, but that's only, I think, now going to spot him. So he's actually looking top for a potential level 2 play. TF pretty good with pick a card at level 1, but Huni, of course, knows that Meteos is here, so he'll play back accordingly.
Yep, that ward, really good early defensive ward from Clutch Gaming. Once again, as we've seen very commonly, that early trinket ward, watching out for top side level 2 ganks, is going to mean that Meteos wastes a few seconds there, but he got off the buff to buff start, and it's going to mean that Lira now will basically split the map. Whenever you do have vision like this, it's going to be right down the middle, and you have Meteos up there on the top half, Lira now taking over for the blue on the bottom side. Plus his bottom lane is pushed in, so it makes it very easy for him to continue on taking away these camps.
I think certainly a good decision in general for OpTic here, because we are expecting Lira to play so heavily towards his top half of the map. We'll see if that does change here. Vulcan and Cody Sun, at least early on, getting the push started. In fact, they're up 10 CS as this next wave is coming out. So the early push pressure and just the general strength of Lucian and Lux, certainly versus something like Tahm, Kench, and Sivir, is changing things up a bit in the bot lane for Clutch and working out in the early game at least.
Damonte here using WQ to get some CS for himself. Qiyana doesn't want to take too much early damage on in lane. Does a pretty good job there, finishing up the CS. Lira has had a much more efficient route clearing than Meteos because Meteos went for that gank. And Lira has been able to get everything on the bottom half of the map, including this extra Scuttle Crab. So that will be a very nice start for the Rek'Sai.
Crab down. I guess of course took the one on the left, and he'll continue farming through his Raptors. We do see Damonte taking a recall because running pretty low on mana and did have the wave pushed up, so we'll grab 2 longswords and walk back to lane. Crown will likely take his base pretty soon as well. See how much of the wave he can get pushed out, but he does have teleport in case he wants to move out instead. So in general, OpTic looking to play a much slower first 15 minutes of this game. And while we are expecting Clutch to be more aggressive in the early stages of the game, they're not required to go all in at minute 4 or 5. But I'm expecting them to ramp up at some point, or maybe around something like a Rift Herald.
All right, a lot of that does depend on Lira. As you can see on the mini-map, he's slipping into enemy territory right now. Both junglers are on a crash course for this tri-brush. Will he get a ping off the Rek'Sai passive? Not quite close enough, I believe.
And that's actually maybe enough info to mean Huni's too far forward. Stun card into the EQ. Huni tried to flash over it, but he couldn't quite clear the gap. But now towards Lira he goes. Dhokla is here. Huni going to try and flame spit it down, and that's going to force Dhokla to commit his flash.
Great heads-up play there from Huni, trying to flash towards his jungler because he knows Lira will be there to protect him if he could just get close enough, and ends up being a 1-for-1 flash, even though Meteos was first one to the gank. definitely making the best of a bad situation for themselves. Pushing the minion wave in as well. Might deny one minion.
Dhokla did have to use his summoner, in fact commits both as he TPs back to the lane, and Damonte had the lane pushed in and was roaming towards the top side, so OpTic very responsibly decided to back away from any potential re-engage in the 2v2. But, you know, certainly a first little successful play for both junglers. I wonder if there'll be any revisit to top lane, given now that with no summoners, these are two pretty easy champions to pick off. And Meteos, once again, is first back to the area.
All right. Can Twisted Fate get close enough to land the gold card here? Huni has to be worried about those minion blocks. Meteos walking in, though, does see the control ward, and it is going to be a trade of vision.
And Huni will likely play back. Lira, as we can see, is back down clearing the rest of his red side jungle, so it's not available right now. And Meteos decides not to commit too much. In fact, Lira is going to start up this Drake here, knowing that Meteos was just on the top half of the map, and his mid lane and bot lane are all pushing in.
Yeah, that's the big thing here. We have distinct recalls. Arrow just went for a reset on the Sivir, so he's walking back from base. That means Vulcan and Cody Sun can head up here at the extra DPS as they've been destroying Arrow and Big in lane. They also get to earn the objective for the team. Mountain Drake will go over to Clutch.
I know that we heard from Vulcan like a week ago that Cody was the one voice of reason on the team, you know, the one saying no to maybe some of the more aggressive plays they've made. I guess the pressure of 4 other teammates has finally meant that Cody is playing a lot more aggressively, and as you mentioned, 22 CS ahead right now.
Yeah, the Lucian always so good into the Sivir, and Vulcan's been landing quite a few of those bindings, getting a lot of harassment down on Big and kind of whittling down at the possible answers here from Arrow and Big, but it has really resulted in some success here. Traditionally, people used to seeing Cody Sun on those super high scaling champions like the Jinx, like the Sivir, but this Lucian, a lot more early game power in lane, and they are putting it to work.
See if Clutch maybe even swapping over to playing everyone being aggressive, but for now, first blood still on the table, and that first bonus tower gold also up. Certainly lots to play for here as Meteos hanging out in the top half once again.
Got him.
Equalizer down. Dhokla just going to try and get counter-killed here by Huni, but the burn is pretty significant. Huni's still kiting away, but Lira actually going to arrive maybe in time. The wild card do find the snipe, though.
Huni. Sometimes it's kind of hard to dodge those wild cards as they're spreading out, and he walks into the lower third of them. Cut down on the end, almost was able to get out as once again Lira tried to head up there to turn it around. Lira actually, he's looking at a 2v1 before he went back to this replay. Let's take another look at it. Big thing about Rumble is the counter damage. You have to watch out. Dhokla is in risk of getting barbecued here. Huni though walks away, can't quite find the move speed to dodge the middle card there. And in the end, kill for OpTic. That is first blood. And they finally cash in on their attention towards the top half.
Yep, Meteos is rewarded for all his persistence there in the top lane. Crown, of course, is kind of busy farming things up, but he feels just fine. Damonte not really able to apply too much pressure, although he is at least pushing the lane and trying to get things moved out. It does seem like this success story is still here in the bottom half of the lane for Clutch, as Cody still sitting about 20 CS ahead as the waves will be traded. Not to mention the early Mountain Drake that they kind of got from the resulting pressure. The one death for Huni, not too bad. He's certainly seen worse games, but I wonder how much more attention Meteos is willing to pay here.
Yeah, and he's doing a lot of work here after pushing up the minion wave. Gets those deep wards in for himself to get some more information for the side of Clutch. See if that pays some dividends. Meteos now back down to the bottom half of the map. This has been the area that Clutch has had a stranglehold on, though, with the power of the bottom lane. And now Damonte being level 8 on the Qiyana has first serrated Dirk for the lethality. This jungle is very dangerous territory for her. First damage from Qiyana is huge if you can reset the passive. Whoa, binding does land.
Yep, gonna get the ulti out. Lira actually just moving far enough forward to force Crown to commit the cooldown. And again, with Drake coming up in a minute 50, may open up more room here on Clutch for the bottom side.
Monte has water element and is walking in towards the jungle. Can he find Meteos?
Again, EQ targeting root. There's the sprint display of talent. Finds the stun on the wraparound, and Damonte able to grab the kill.
Yep, just as you say, you can cast the Elemental Wrath during the Audacity. Heads in with the water element. EQ, full burst damage, and just for good measure, Huni's gonna add Element of Fire, which Qiyana doesn't traditionally have control of, so they've got all of them. And they've got Captain Planet here, taking down Meteos.
All right, well, Huni gonna move back to the top lane and actually keep up a pretty healthy CS lead for himself, so did not cost himself too much to make this little roam down.
There we go, Damonte sneaks around, no reaction time there, really good Rumble ultimate, and look at that. When you're in the Raptor pit, there's no way to get away from Qiyana ultimate. I mean, people looked at it initially and they're like, oh, the explosion's not that long. Maybe Crown here is under attack though. Let's pause the moment.
Damonte low. Lira looking to try and find the execute. Vulcan with the binding, but stasis up by Crown. They'll keep it going though, and Damonte able to find the execute. That's kill number 2.
Vulcan comes over to add his power with the roam. Lira plus Vulcan attacking mid lane. They take down Crown. They get the flash. These are back-to-back big plays for Clutch Gaming. They are slightly ahead in gold now, despite giving up that first blood on the top half of the map.
And Ghostblade done there for Damonte in mid. Essence Reaver done for Cody there in bottom lane, actually going that first here, so maybe more of a crit-focused Lucian build.
This is going to be a pretty fun one, Pastry. Already 2 kills over to the Qiyana. This is funding the lethality build very quickly, and that stacks up. There's so many members liable to get bursted down from 100 to 0. If you're even halfway close to a wall, the Qiyana ultimate has a very good knockback range. See if you can get anyone.
Meteos is out of there. That Q just barely missing, actually. Meteos able to close the gap, but Damonte still in. Huni again able to find the ultimate. That's going to force Meteos to burn the summoner. Damonte just dashes back over the wall. Clutch still here and looking strong.
Should be able to start this up as well. Ward goes down. OpTic pushing mid lane. So OpTic are trying to get those minions mid lane in answer here. Twisted Fate ultimate used as well for Vision.
Got to be careful fighting Qiyana in the river, especially in either the Rift Herald or Drake bit. But for now, Clutch actually forced to back away. Dhokla burn the ulti for a bit of vision. There's also a crab up blocking some of these potential skill shots. And the Rift Herald battle is going. Clutch TP in. Crown maybe going to make the play. Herald over to Lira, managed to find the smite.
Can he get...
All right, so binding into Culling, does find the Devour for big, and kind of the stand-up for Herald goes to Clutch, and everybody else walks away.
Actually a pretty funny interaction there. And in the end, Lira does pick it up, gets the recall off. It's a full reset. OpTic will take the consolation prize though. Meteos, Arrow, Big, all heading over to the Mountain Drake. Will they be able to finish it up before the rest of Clutch arrive? Vulcan will try his hand at the snipe.
Lira here actually in time to try and steal if he wants to.
Control ward's in the back there, so Clutch Gaming do have vision.
Again, they keep fighting Damonte back to the river with the ice element ready. Lira goes in, he steals the Drake. And they might just keep going for the fight. Flash there from Huni into the slow from the Electro Harpoon, and Arrow going to force the heal to try and get his way out of there. Damonte zooms in, finds the wraparound ulti. What a stun onto Arrow on the other side. And now Big forced back under the turret as well.
Oh, that was actually sick, and they're not done.
Huni still going, finds a flame spit of damage. Not quite enough. Huni will pay the price. But Crown into stasis, knocked up by Lira, devoured by Big, and now he's into stasis. But Vulcan times the binding well, and Lira finishes off the kill.
Oh, Damonte's getting a plate during all the action, pushing up the mid wave, but the extra kill does, in the end, go over. Clutch Gaming racking up the money here. Meteos doesn't want to go in, risk his life to stop that Rift Herald. In any case, Clutch will get this tower. Topside is the one thing here for OpTic. They do have Dhokla up there. He'll be able to finish up that top turret. But mid has been taken down, and so is bottom in the favor of Clutch.
So all the pressure that the bot lane builds up gives Cody room to finish off the tower. Dhokla does get the trade, but first turret gold and plates over to Clutch as we'll watch this play again.
All right, let's take a look here, because this is going to be Lira going in. Smite test number 2. He passes with flying colors. Meteos slides on the way out. Actually, yeah, we can't really trust the cooldown timers on those ones, but in the end, this is the cool part. Damonte into the wall, uses the ultimate over around to be able to get the Sivir as well, since the entire wall is going to explode. And then Huni wants to continue this. He's going straight for Big, tags him with the end of the equalizer. That's not going to be enough as Crown pushes him under the turret. However, Big comes out to save Crown, and then the shots go through. Binding lands. Lira's able to add the extra damage. And we're back out to live.
Counter push though here from OpTic may yield them another turret. Actually a pretty quick equalizer of the structures as Huni uses his ulti to burn down the wave, but can't quite grab them all. There were a few too many. Looks like Arrow and Big will be able to finish off this turret in short time. Qiyana though trading there for Damonte on the top half of the map, so Clutch continue to apply that pressure, and they're up about 2,000 gold, looking not to slow things down too much here.
Yeah, they've got full control here. Look how deep these wards are that they're able to get into OpTic's territory. Biggest strength there for Qiyana is going to be controlling all of these neutral objectives. You love getting an early lead on Qiyana because not only can you get this deep vision in the jungle since you're so dangerous there with all the walls wrapping around, but the Infernal Drake coming up next is a really good sign for Clutch Gaming. Trying to continue to snowball this. That is a further damage amp, not only for the AD Assassin, but literally every single champion on this team. These are all offensive builds. These are all champions that will get huge rewards out of the AD and AP amp of an Infernal Drake. So it's perfect fuel to the Clutch Gaming fire. OpTic have to be fairly worried about contesting it as well. The biggest thing is, whenever you walk into the river versus Qiyana, you know, the ultimate not only does it explode around walls, but she can explode water for some reason. And you have to be really worried about everyone getting caught in that.
All right, well, Cody also is maybe not so quietly crept up alongside Vulcan to a very significant lead of his own. It does seem like he's going for more Reaver into perhaps IE. So again, wanting to be a bit more of the insurance policy, even on the Lucian, could not commit to something like Blade of the Ruined King, Black Cleaver. It's still Cody Sun after all.
It definitely is. Going for the high DPS Lucian, crit build coming through. You still have low range, so it's a fairly risky playstyle still, but with this Clutch Gaming lineup, they're all low range, high damage champions, save for the Lux, so everybody will have the same game plan. It's kind of what you alluded to earlier, Patient Time, with everybody punching their ticket here to the offensive style, everybody buying in and having alignment around this aggressive look for Clutch.
And Leandry's plus hook shoes there for Huni. Double lethality now as Damonte has finished up his Duskblade. And Cody just looking good in general with the early Reaper means that this Drake up in 40 seconds is all Clutch Gaming's for the taking.
Yeah, we got plenty of stopwatches too. There is one on the side of Clutch for Qiyana, so Damonte with all the damage is going to have an opportunity to make a really big play than stopwatch, but also there are 3 on the side of OpTic. Dhokla, Meteos, and Crown all will have stasis for this team fight. Here we go!
Watch Damonte on the side here again. They're trying to find the flank, but a good engage there by OpTic. Does get the shutdown onto Cody still to bring in his play of Tahm. But the massive around the bush there in mid. Dhokla gonna get burnt down. Crown almost sniped off by Vulcan, and they may have got Cody, but it cost them everything.
Yep, Crown. Can he get his way out? 3v1!
Nope. Kaboom! Damonte gonna push the wave. The rest of Clutch will go to the Drake, and OpTic, they found their one pick. But it doesn't seem worth it. Big, I think, the only survivor, as they'll lose objectives as well.
All right, take another look. OpTic. They pop the speed. Dhokla flashes in, gold card, and Cody Sun is gone. However, immediately afterwards, Damonte slips in and seemingly annihilates Arrow all by himself, then stuns up literally every single surviving member of OpTic with that ultimate. This small pathway through the jungle, he's able to line it up and cause absolute destruction here. Then Crown, nowhere to go, tries to fight his way out, but isn't able to get anything done for himself. And the Infernal Drake was picked up in the aftermath while we're in that replay. So it's going to be Clutch Gaming full steam ahead.
Yep, 3,000 gold ahead now, plus those 3 Elemental Drakes as Clutch continue to put their foot on the gas. There is a Baron up in 30 seconds, so Clutch can start to play around the other side of the map for the objective there as well. But opening up the outer ring, just wanting to get those minions and vision pushed deeper into OpTic's territory. As OpTic just sticking around mid, trying to open up a little more of the map for themselves. Culling, after binding though onto Meteos, forces him to flag and drag away. And Damonte just finding himself into a side lane and can't really 1v1 Qiyana at this point, especially given how much control Clutch have. So kind of 3-lane pressure, everything going Clutch's way after this early game.
Yeah, let's see if they can move in now. Red buff is up. I feel like you should contest all jungle objectives when you have this sort of lead with the Qiyana. Meteos is trying to take it away, though, before they can get there. The wards have been cleared out. He's getting a little antsy around it, but they get it and they hand it over to Arrow. That is definitely a positive here for OpTic, getting this one off the table. Lira lying in wait, though.
Not enough vision to maybe feel confident there. But Damonte also just hiding in a bit of brush, but we'll back away and clear out the rest of this wave. This Clutch just continue to try and apply as much pressure as they can topside. Dhokla, I guess for the OpTic side, is starting to kind of get to the point where he can maybe split push here. He's in a long lane in bottom half. He does have Trinity Force and the Rapid Fire Cannon already done. So with free time, he will do a great job at knocking down these structures. But I think Huni more than enough of a challenge if it's just a 1v1. And again, OpTic don't have really anything else under control but whatever lane the TF is in.
Yeah, teleport's available for both Huni and Dhokla as well on the bottom side. So if any of these vision wars here up around Baron do spark a confrontation, they will be able to join. Azir here for Crown, trying to hold the mid wave. Can't put up the turret, but gets hit with the binding.
Nice bind. Crown also zips away from the culling, but 2 ultis and a lot of poke onto the Azir. See how aggressive Clutch want to be in the left-hand side of the map. Continuing to move through and try and sweep out that vision. Damonte will take down that control ward next to the red buff. There is one next to the Raptors that we can see, but not able to push in quite that far just yet. Also money to spend. Ooh. Destiny will reveal the 2, but they will get recall off in time. And Cody did have enough dosh to grab the IE, which he has now finished.
And they're taking this opportunity because they use Twisted Fate ultimate. They know nobody's around here to punish, and they can slip in, take out that important control ward inside the Baron. It's very critical for OpTic to keep this vision up. It's a double Mountain Drake side of Clutch Gaming, so even though they don't have a tank for Baron, they have so much damage that if you leave it unattended, they will be able to burst it down without having to worry too much about sustaining damage from it and tanking. And Lira's now starting to get some armor, so it might be an option.
Damonte going in, but Big and Crown already there. Damonte forced to flash away. He'll zip back, he'll get the root, he'll find the ulti and get the double stun, but the stasis only going to keep him alive for so long as Crown does find the shutdown. Now Huni over the top, there's the equalizer. Huni flashing in. We're going to try and take down Big. He does burn him down, and the rest of Clutch collapse. Cody shoots down Crown. Dhokla going to be left for dead as he does find the gold card. The wild card's in, but not enough to get the kills. Cody nabs the double.
Well, that is definitely going to be a Baron. Double Mountain Drakes over here for Clutch Gaming. They get 4 members of OpTic in that team fight, and Baron will be their reward.
Clear out the vision. Meteos not up for 5 more seconds, and Arrow not in the area to try and steal, so Clutch continue to grow their lead and take down Baron number 1.
Control of the jungle pays off. They're lying in wait for Meteos. So on the right side of your screen, Meteos in a 3v1, he goes down. Left side of your screen, Damonte in a 2v1, he goes down, but he did significant damage to Big and took down the Grey Health. So when Huni arrives, he can focus on the Azir, force out the Devour, then get the kill onto Big. And with the shield there from Vulcan, Lux lands both parts of it on Huni, allowing him to stick around with just a sliver of HP to survive, stick around for the Baron.
And Damonte even going to grab the extra Dirk there. Looks like maybe Edge of Night actually going to be the item. Kind of see Black Cleaver, GA. Edge of Night is kind of your options after your first lethality items, but Damonte is all about getting these kills. Going for maximum assassination right now. Forward stuff done for Huni, so he's doing even more damage with that ultimate. And with the Baron, Clutch able to easily siege down a few more turrets, up about 6,000 gold. Trying to extend their lead as long as they can possibly make it.
Yeah, I think they need to make the most of this Baron. It's very critical to push ahead when you are a shorter range team like this with the early lead that you cannot give up. You're facing an Azir Sivir scaling squad, so you need to keep taking towers. Don't take time off for this dragon. A lot of teams would be baited in to going and getting the free Mountain Drake right there, but you need to use every second of the Baron to take down OpTic's defenses. All that really matters is this Clutch Gaming taking down the inhibitor turrets. If they can do that, then you get to effectively use the rest of your team comp, and you can get inside to actually win the game.
Of note, Damonte did not get Baron buff because he was dead after they picked it up. So not able to apply it to this top wave that he has been pushing out, but still Clutch enough room to take down the tier 2 there in that lane. You need to keep applying that pressure. There are only 90 seconds left to try and get one of these inhibitor turrets, and they are taking a quick reset now.
Yeah, I mean, even though they do have a nice 6,000 gold lead, I would like to see them try and at least get significant damage on one of these inhibitor turrets. Looks like they are just going to back off for the Mountain Drake, though, and be content to control the majority of the map. Baron buff, last minute. See if they can actually make it work. I don't think they're going to get in place for too much of the damage. One more minion wave after the current one does arrive at turrets.
I mean, I think just leaning on how strong and how much of a foothold they have on this map. We've talked for years about how good Rumble ulti is at objectives. Clutch may well have drafted the two best ultimates at trying to take down something in a pit. Both Qiyana and Rumble add significant damage, pressure, and overall control when you're fighting in the river especially. So I think Clutch taking a slowing things down just a little bit here. This Baron is enough to at least get the third tier 2 turret, excuse me, 6th overall. So Clutch kind of got everything they expected to get out of this Baron. We'll see if they push in for a little bit more here. Nice ulti there by Huni, actually going to be comboed in by Vulcan, culling down for Cody as well, and that might be enough space to knock down this turret, but OpTic's still somewhat healthy.
Yeah, OpTic's main goal is keep their inhibitor turrets up. If they can buy time for Sivir and Azir to farm, then they can hold hope. Clutch Gaming, Baron does time out.
Not as many angles here for the rest of these ultis. Equalizes down. Although they are still pushing in. Ghostblade popped by Damonte. But OpTic, pretty good wave clear between the TF, the Azir, and the Sivir. So tough without Baron for Clutch to really crack that turret. So I think they'll realize the same thing and just back off. Go spend their gold and set up for this next Baron. That really is the next big objective for Clutch Gaming.
I think that's decent for OpTic, buying themselves another 2 minutes till the Baron spawns. So I think they can just funnel as much. Oh, he missed the cannon there. You want to funnel as much money as possible onto this Sivir and Azir right now, because you only have until the Baron spawns before Clutch are going to make their next move. Actually, they're making it now.
Yeah, Cody overstayed his welcome and will be shut down by Dhokla for it.
That's why we're cautioning against taking a slower approach in this situation. Clutch Gaming will get outscaled if the game goes too long. And OpTic here gets some money back for themselves, picking off Cody Sun, buying some time to also set up possible vision leading up to the Baron, maybe making it a little bit less dangerous for themselves.
I mean, don't have to be left alone for long to kill Baron. They have triple Mountain and an Infernal Drake.
Yeah.
So objectives, once they can get their little bit of free time, will absolutely evaporate. But OpTic are starting to build up strength. We have Crown with 3 items, Arrow on the precipice of finishing his 3rd, and Dhokla already has 3 done. Time may be running out here for Clutch. TP in though from Cody, I believe. Huni with the ulti. They're going to commit Damonte with a big flank. Going to try and make it happen against the wall. Needs to find the angle, finds the ulti. No, that's just Huni. Excuse me, Huni flashing in, going to force Dhokla's flash. Clutch still chasing, but they haven't got a kill just yet. Big barely lives that execute damage.
Yeah, that's why Damonte is going for all the lethality items. Big, big damage coming from the Qiyana. No kills, and OpTic still surviving. Now, Clutch Gaming, they have such a big lead right now. This Baron should be theirs. You know, 3 mountains, plenty of damage to work with, so should be able to pick that one up and then march in to finish the job. They don't want to let OpTic get to a 50-minute game. It's definitely a long road ahead of OpTic, but Clutch Gaming might try and catch them if they check.
There's the ulti. They need to get the TF ult down. But again, looking for the snipe is Vulcan. Huni's ult not quite back off cooldown. Damonte has his. Cody as well for a bit of extra poke. Meteos is back away, so they are going to spring the trap on the Baron.
There they go.
Oh my god, it does so quickly.
All right, what are OpTic trying to get? Are they actually trying to get that turret in mid? I don't know if they have time. Crown's almost committed for it. It does go down to the minions, and they want to slink away with their prize really quickly. OpTic now just want to reset, get back inside their defenses. Another Infernal Drake spawning is great news for Clutch Gaming. Adding some more firepower here to finish out the game. See if they can use this Baron buff, number 2, to actually break the base.
And for an update on Damonte, it is maximum armor shred today. Last Whisper is item number 4, so really just trying to destroy their health bars as quick as he possibly can. 30 seconds till the Infernal you mentioned is up and available. We'll see if Clutch do grab it before committing to the Siege, or if they just maximize their time with the Baron buff.
Red buff definitely should be given up there by OpTic. You do not want to fight this team in the jungle. Obviously, Qiyana's kit is built around it, but Rumble makes it very easy for Huni to land equalizers as well. So jungle is the most dangerous territory, and OpTic should only be defending their turrets. Number 1 mode right now is defense. They're trying to wave clear with the Azir, with the Sivir. Here comes Clutch though, right up to the turret. 50% HP left on it.
I like this trade though from Clutch. Lira saying, you know what, let me just get the push in. If he's tying up Crown,
they're going for it.
Kind of the big damage dealer here on OpTic. That's great news for Clutch. They will break the top inhib turret. This inhib will likely fall after as well. Cody sticks around for the last few shots and does double tap the structure down. And now the rest of Clutch swing back around mid. Lira already had the wave prepared earlier. Huni with a big ulti. Meteos going to try and trap him in the cage. Vulcan with an ulti doesn't quite find the execute, but Arrow getting shut down. No, he actually shuts down Huni and barely escapes the culling, but Damonte finds the wraparound stun, nails Dhokla and finds the assassination, and that's enough strength for Clutch to keep on trucking.
Yeah, that should be it. Clutch Gaming takedown inhibitor number 2. They're transitioning to bottom side. There's no minion, so they're slowly taking down the turret, and Crown chases them out, but they've got Baron to buff up these minions. Minute and a half left on that. They can keep up the pressure.
Oh, what a binding by Vulcan, but Crown goes in for the play. Now stuck in the front side of the rest of Clutch with Big finds to devour. Damonte though says absolutely not. Assassinates Big. Cody slays Crown, and Arrow is trying to fight his way out, but he can only stopwatch and watch the rest of his health disappear as Damonte finds a double. Clutch break through the bottom half of the map, and looks like they'll find victory here versus OpTic. It's only Meteos to watch the fireworks sparkle around the Nexus. They'll take the last inhib just in case. Huni will TP back in to try and finish it off, and Dhokla on the respawn maybe can buy enough time. But Meteos burning low, the first Nexus turret dies. The second one will fall, and Dhokla will just watch it all happen. Equalizer down, next kill through, and that Nexus exposes. Clutch will pick up the victory over OpTic. And I think finally, Kobe, that is the explosiveness we were asking for from Clutch. Everyone committed to playing more aggressive. The lead in bottom lane, Damonte running back the Qiyana. And I feel like finally, all 5 players came together.
All 5 players commit to the aggressive game plan. They finish out strong with Baron number 2 as well. And Clutch Gaming find their success here. Damonte on Qiyana, round 2, is able to find it. Gets the early kills, funds the lethality. And got some big ultimates as well.
I also think Lira maybe undersung in this game. You know, taking a champion that has a lot of risk, you need to get the early game going, but 2-0 and 10 participated in most of the 18 kills that Clutch racked up that game, and much more consistent performance. I mean, it was in the right place at the right time, set up some nice opportunities, and overall Clutch just got their lead, moved their vision forward, and quickly but very methodically felt like they played out this game.
Yeah, able to use their objective control really effectively, stacking that one, controlled all the elemental drakes the entire game, and were able to make the roams work for themselves as well.
It just feels like, again, I wonder, what does Clutch do now, given what they've shown? Do they
more
keep,
Qiyana?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely more Qiyana. But do they keep giving Cody more aggressive champions? Do they have other styles? I think it has been a rough road for Clutch, so finding this clean of a win against a team that at the start of the season did look very strong has to feel pretty good.
I like the win lane, win game style,
Same.
So I think keep going with that.
All right, well, to wrap up the LCS before the Academy Showcase, let's head over to Freak. It's time for LCS Cooldown.